Recently, we've witnessed a dramatic transformation in the automotive industry. We've seen the rise of electric cars, and companies like Tesla are trailblazing with success.
Yes, and they are very fast as well. Interestingly enough, this shift is not isolated. We have the CEO of Southern Gas Association in town from Texas, Suzanne Ogle. She joins us now with some insights on the future of energy. Welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you in. How are you finding Las Vegas?
Las Vegas is great. I stayed at the Waldorf and I loved it.
Oh, nice.
Good choice.
Yeah, really nice. I really had a great time.
Well, you know, we mentioned Teslas and electric cars and the shift that we all know is happening in the automotive industry. In terms of the broader energy landscape in the country, there's a major shift occurring too. What can you tell us?
Yeah, no, thanks for asking. It's a great question, and it really is something we need to be thinking about as we evolve our energy system to something that we're moving towards, which is cleaner than what we have historically known. We have to be thinking about how does it all get integrated. So electric vehicles are certainly part of what cleaning up transportation is, because transportation is about 28% of the greenhouse gas emissions, and there's certainly a way to help do that. But we have to think about what's the impact on the grid. And so the grid is older, and most of it is aging infrastructure, and then it's going to create an additional demand. And so anytime that we're thinking about what the energy system looks like, we have to think about it in its entirety. So all the way from supply, which is where you get your energy, whether that's fuel from, drilling, or whether that's your solar panels or your wind or whatever that looks like, how does that integrate all the way through the entire system? Because it doesn't ever work in a silo. And so as you put additional strain on the grid, we're going to have to be thinking about what kind of energy backs that up, because you need to have dispatchable energy, because wind doesn't always blow, sun doesn't always shine, and so you have to have a nice strong base load that keeps consistent amount of energy there. And so that's how we have to think about integrating electric vehicles, integrating renewables into the energy system with that entirety approach.
Wow. You gave some really great points of what we should be thinking about, but what could we be anticipating? What do you think we'll actually be seeing in the future?
Well, I think I think one of the things that America struggles with is that we have such a divided world, right? And people want to go gray they don't want gray, right? They want white and they want black, and they don't really want to talk about where the gray is. And I think that the end result is going to be something that looks like a natural gas baseload system with renewables integrated in there, and then we're going to have to use all kinds of technology to reduce emissions in order to get to the clean energy future that everybody's asking for and working towards. And for people in their houses, what does that mean to Jim and Jane that live in the house with 2 kids? I mean, I think we have to be really conscious about the cost of energy, what that's going to look like. Right now, renewables are very subsidized, and so unless the government's going to continue to subsidize them, they're not market-based, so they're not going to be affordable at a market-based rate. We have to think about how do we have consistent energy so that the lights are on, people count on it. And in the rest of the world, there's places where you don't have energy regularly. One side of the street gets it, one side of the street doesn't. And Americans are not going to live like that. So we have to be thoughtful about having enough supply and having enough baseload to be able to deliver that to the average person, so that they can count on the energy that they have, that they can live a life that has high quality, and that they're going to be able to afford it. And I think as we are making this transition, sometimes it's done with kind of an elitist mindset, and we cost shift to people who can least afford to have the higher prices. And we have to be very thoughtful about that in how we look at an energy system.
Interesting. And so you're talking about the grid and being able to support it. What place does natural gas play in that, do you think?
Yeah, so natural gas has a really big role to play. So especially as we transition away from coal, people talk about natural gas like it's a bridge fuel or like it's a transition, and I encourage everybody never to use the word transition, because it's an evolution. The energy system has been evolving since it started, and it's going to continue to evolve with technology, and it's going to get cleaner, but you need both dispatchable, which is you can have it on demand, and you want to have the cleanest sources. So natural gas is certainly cleaner than coal, and it provides the ability to integrate the renewables into the system, because they're not always going to be able to deliver energy at the time that you need it, and there's not currently a way to store the energy in a way that's sufficient to be consistent. And we can see that during weather events. And so if the people who talk about eliminating fossil fuels have a very narrow-minded approach to that, because instead of talking about eliminating, what we need to be talking about is how do we create a system that is the best, cleanest system for the long term for everybody. And so all of us can agree on the goal of having clean energy. And if we work towards that goal, we're good.
And that gray you were talking about is this system has many different parts. So let's
very
talk about all of
integrated.
those parts.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank
Hey,
you.
I appreciate it. I love talking
very
energy, and I'm happy to
insightful.
do it with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent. Again, if you would like to get a little more information on everything we just discussed, very interesting, southerngas.org is the website. You can also follow them on social, Southern Gas Association.